Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I hope everything is okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since we went live, so I thought to myself, why not say hello to my people? Why not greet my people? It's been too long, don't you think, guys? It's been a long time. Today, we're just talking simple things, just catching up. And as soon as I go live, obviously, somebody just walks in right through the door. Yeah, I'm live. I'm in the UK and happy to be home finally and just catching up with you guys. It's been a long time since we chatted. I don't even know whether anybody's going to join me today. I'm just hoping you do. And if you don't, you'll probably watch this much later. If you do join me, say hello because here I am. I haven't invited anybody like on my WhatsApp group, but I just thought, let me just catch up with people. Do you know what I realized? Yesterday, I went for a walk. I've started walking a lot since I came back from my trip. Since, after all, I was on a journey for like over 30 hours, I became so strong from that, walking around up and down airports and places that I thought, I need to keep this momentum going because we had agreed at the beginning of the year with my wonderful friend Susan that we were going to continue, to try to reduce our weight and to improve our health. And yeah, that's where we are right now. So anyway, as I was walking the other day, coming back from Tesco, I just passed a row of houses and I saw a lady. I saw a cat first, a very beautiful cat, and I wondered to myself, whose beautiful long-haired cat is that? And as I was passing by, I saw a lady sitting by her door. She looked no more than about maybe 35 to 40 years old. I saw her sitting at the door and she looked at me. I looked at her, our eyes crossed, and I waved and I said hello. And immediately I said hello. She actually came running to me. And I was like, why is this lady running to me now? And I was like wondering to myself, why is she running to me? And I realized that she wanted someone to talk to. Can you imagine? I'm thinking all these thoughts in just a split second. Like, number one, why is she running to me? Number two, she probably needs somebody to talk to. But before she ran to me, she first rolled on the ground and she was dead drunk, literally. And she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm dead drunk. I'm drunk." I said, "No problem. Just come over. Let's say hi. Come, let's greet each other, neighbors." And so she came up to me and we chatted, and she all of a sudden burst out into tears and she started crying. And she was telling me how she's lonely and how she was holding the beautiful cat, first of all. And then she told me how she had lost her best friend. And her best friend, apparently, is an old monk who was 89 years old. And he passed away about 3 years ago or something like that. And then just about 3 months ago, she lost her man. This lady is a Welsh lady. She's a young Welsh lady in her 40s. And she literally bawled on me and cried so much. She cried so much. And I looked at her and I said, "Hey, what's the problem? It's okay. It's okay." She was apologizing and crying at the same time. And then I realized to myself, I think we're caught up in our own bubbles. I realized that I'm probably caught up in my own issues because I'm forgetting that there's a world outside here where people are hurting, where people need each other. And I came back home and I told my husband, you know what, I've got to do something because this is just unfortunate because people are hurting out here. But I promised to pass by and, maybe drop in and have a cup of tea with her. But this was her story. She said that she lost her best friend, who happens to be the 89-year-old. She said she grew up in poverty and her father used to send her to school without food. Imagine, here in Wales, you guys, yeah? And so this old man used to sit up and give her food. He used to always keep food for her. So she remembers since she was very young how this guy literally saved her life and how he was a good friend. When she got married and then she got divorced, she ended up having 2 kids, and one of her children has a mental health problem and will always be dependent on her. He's about 19. He's a teenage 19-year-old. Then she also lost her other child because she had a mental breakdown. So, there are people right now who are hurting in the world, guys. Thank you for the thumbs up in there. I can see you there. Thank you. Thank you for watching and thank you for being with me here. But she lost her one son. She has 2 sons. One is 19 and one is also a teen. And she's lost her 15-year-old to the system. Basically, a relative had to take that child. And then she's got the 19-year-old that she's looking after. And she literally has had a mental breakdown all this time. Yeah. And before I continue, let me invite you by giving you the link. I just realized, oh my God, it's been so long since I went live that I forgot to give you a link. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. There is the link. It's in the comment section, so you can join me and you can come in and you can chat with me. The link is in there in the comment section. So it's a bit early. For people who are in Kenya, it's a little bit early. For those of us who are in the UK, we are 2 hours behind Kenya. So right now in Kenya, it's still showing on my computer. It's about 6 o'clock p.m. in the evening on a Friday. And yeah, guys, first of all, I just wanted to say let's take some time back and also remember to reach out to people in the community, reach out to people who are feeling lonely, who need you, who need us. Because life is more than ourselves. It's more than the travel experiences I've had, the border experiences I've had, the being thrown back into the country, not being able to cross into America. For those of you who don't know, go and watch my videos. You'll find out that I wasn't able to get into America because of not what they said was that I had not filled my form correctly, but that was actually not true. But unfortunately, because they don't give you any sort of hearing, and there's no way to get a hearing with a judge or a court or a magistrate, then in that case they just free to make their decision and they just send you back to your country. Or if you're unlucky, you end up in El Salvador prisons, which is what is happening to a lot of tourists. So I am back here in Wales, and it's pretty nice here in Wales, guys. Yeah. So I'm not complaining. It's okay. It's okay. It's only that I wasn't able to go to New York at this time, but I'm not giving up. I'm not the kind of person to give up. I will still go and try and apply for a visa and hope to get it, keep applying until I get in, because after all, that's where I went to school in the US. That's my second home. That's where my son is. So there's no issues here. Yeah. I wasn't illegal, never been illegal. So I think, it's just, I happened to be in the right place at the wrong time with Trump's crazy policies. So anyway, guys, yeah, we're not talking about those things right now. We're just talking about what's going on in the world. Now, let me tell you what I found when I came to the UK. My goodness, you guys, let me go shopping. I went to Tesco and I found that so many aisles are lacking essential foods. There's so little variety of foods. The shops that we're used to, the supermarkets that we're used to in Kenya, you guys, if you're Kenyan and you're watching me, yeah, raise your hand. Or if you're African and you're watching me, raise your hand, because you should consider yourself super lucky to have that kind of variety of food in your supermarkets, especially places like Naivas and places like those, The supermarkets at home in Kenya have a variety of items to choose from. Fresh food. Kenyans are huge farmers, and there's one thing I'm really pleased about is the fact that I live in a country where I lived in a country in Kenya, or you guys live in a country where you can literally just pull anything you want from the shelf if you have the money. Here in the UK, you can have the money, but you have nothing to choose from. You go to the shelf. I've been to the supermarkets and literally walked them up and down the aisles, wondering what I'm going to buy, because the aisles are filled with fake food, so much processed food, so many processed cakes, processed cereals, unessential things that don't make any sense, ice creams and what, Coca-Cola, packaged foods, puddings, what else? Different. The only thing I think that I feel that I can buy is perhaps butter, a few fresh vegetables, maybe like tomatoes on the vine. Very little selection, The bread, I bought some white bread here. You guys, man, it tastes like chalk. Then I bought some brown bread and it's starting to taste a little bit like, it tastes odd. It tastes like sawdust. My friend actually was telling me it tastes just like sawdust, you guys. Hey, I'm telling you, I really miss food in Kenya. I miss the food. Until I had to go back and find out whether they might have an organic type of milk, because even the milk tastes off. It tastes like chalk to my mouth. I'm sure after some time, my tongue will adjust, but why should it be adjusting backwards? Why should it be adjusting to as if the food doesn't taste good? So that was the first thing, the culture shock that hit me when I came back after a year and 4 months, was that already my taste buds had completely changed. And now I'm used to eating fresh Kenyan food, fresh food in our from even from our supermarkets, which we don't even consider to be as good as in the market in Kenya. The food in Kenya is absolutely fantastic compared to places like this. And I know that because when my son comes from the US, the first thing he complains about, I mean, when he comes from the US to Kenya, the first thing he talks about is, oh my God, those eggs taste so nice, mom. Even basic eggs, even the tea tastes different, coffee tastes different. Well, of course, coffee, that one you can understand, but the food, that's the first thing. The second thing is how quiet the streets are here. It's so quiet, guys, you know? At least at home, okay, over here, everything is organized, yeah? There are sidewalks, you can walk, you can stay safe away from the traffic. There's greenery, it's very pretty, it's everything. But on the other hand, it's lacking in people. There are no people to interact with on the streets. And the ones that you're on the streets are people that you really don't know. So it's difficult to strike a conversation with anyone because it's not the culture to just go out and say hi, 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 unless they decide to say hi to you first. It's easier if they say hi to you first than if you have to say hi to them. So what that does is that you're here walking on beautiful pavements, feeling safe but isolated, and dare I say, a little bit lonely because you don't have somebody to talk to. And this is a problem that we are experiencing here as migrants, but apart from people who are what I could call, I can't really call myself a migrant, but for people maybe who have come from other countries to here, they would be considered, you consider yourself a migrant. But the population that is not indigenous to this country, they'll find it really difficult because it can be very isolating and lonely. All right, what else would I like to talk about? Well, like I was telling you, that lady who jumped on me, just literally, she told me she's indigenous Welsh and she's feeling lonely. And I promised her that I'm going to go and, have a cup of tea with her. So I'm going to make some mandazis and go there and sit with her. So that's my experience in the UK. That's now food I've talked about, loneliness, walking around. I've established a walk every day and I hardly talk to anyone. Children on bicycles, young people on bicycles or walking around with their dogs and things like that, or the elderly. You notice that there's so much energy in the air with young people. Many young people are in gangs, they're in groups and gangs. This is something that is a little bit unusual because, like in Africa, like in Kenya, you see maybe two people walking together, maybe 2-3 people walking together, but it's not a gang. They're just walking together. But here it looks like young people are huddled together in groups, and those groups seem impenetrable, almost like hostile to outsiders. And that was another thing that I picked up from this country, that it seems to me that the generations are so segregated. Over there, you see elderly people, young people, everybody kind of mixes. On this end, no. I mean, well, over there in Kenya, you'll find that you'll see an elderly person walking next to young people without feeling threatened. You'll see young people even just say hello to an elderly person, or even help them or do something. But here, the divide is real. There's young people, there's elderly people, there's women, there's men, there's people with dogs, there's people with bikes, and everybody's in their own little cocoon. Those are the kinds of experiences I've seen here. So that's really a bit isolating and weird. The weather, like today is a beautiful sunny day, yeah. And I'm gonna turn this camera. I don't know if I can turn this camera so that I can show you what's happening on the other side, but I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Unless I probably just get up and turn it backward. But it's a beautiful sunny day of it today. But you go outside there, you're gonna feel cold. It's the sun. The sun is there, but there's a little bit of a kabite, like a crisp cool. They call it a crisp cool. So when you're coming from a sunny environment and then you come over here, you will go running out and running right back in. Yeah. So I can't really wear like this top outside there, and I've actually put on the heating inside the house, even if it is it is May and I've still got the heating on. Yeah, what else have I experienced that's different? I talked about the food. I talked about, okay, the kids, like I talked about, I've got kids here, and kind of like reintegrating back into my household has not been very easy because I've been away and they've grown up and now they're teenagers. I've got to almost like reintroduce myself to them and say, hey, hi, I am so and so, the stepmom. Yeah, remember me? Yeah, and they don't even know really how to relate with me. And so I have to start all over again. So some of the gains that I had already achieved before I left, into breaking that barrier, breaking that ice with my stepkids, and then I'm now having to go back and kind of reestablish relationships with them. The same thing on the other side, I find it like difficult to keep in touch with my home in Kenya. It's difficult to keep in touch with my mom because we're 2 hours behind. By the time I find time to do that, the time has passed. Why? Because over there in Kenya, we had help. I had helpers, people helping with cooking, cleaning, whatever. Here, I'm doing everything myself, yeah? And that's another one. What else? Over here, I've been busy trying to reestablish relationships with my clients. Long ago, before I left the Wales, I had actually started a little company where I was cleaning homes. And I really enjoyed that job. Believe it or not, it's one of the nice jobs to do here in Wales. I had developed a team of about 4 ladies and myself and 2 men. And we used to go to, I had a way to identify people within my geographic area who needed help with cleaning in their homes. Maybe, for example, if you're moving houses, you need somebody to come in and clean the house before you move. So another way is I had student houses where in some student homes, what you do, you clean the corridors and kitchens and baths, places and toilets which are used by the public, for everybody. And usually it's a really good thing, and it's actually quite a lucrative job to do, and one where you're not having a supervisor standing over you, one in which you can plan your time and your hours and you're paid in cash, which is one of the nicest things, because then at least you have a little bit of cash on you and you can rush and go and buy some food. When you spend money at the supermarket, nobody cares where it came from. Again, one of the things I really love about my cleaning job here in the UK is that it keeps me fit and busy, physically fit. Because once you get to my age, yeah, a certain age, then if you're just sitting behind watching TV all the time, or just not active, it's not good for your body. But my plan is actually to start a new business. I want to start a new business, and you're going to find out what it is. I won't tell you what it is right now. But probably something that will probably keep me home more than going out, because my husband also is not really into this idea of seeing me going out there cleaning homes. Despite the fact that I like it, I actually enjoy it, yeah. And I will do it. I'll continue to do it. I already have one client who cannot wait for me to go. And I myself cannot wait to see her, because again, it's also about establishing relationships. And this kind of job is one that never goes out of fashion. People always need a babysitter, somebody to look after the children, somebody to clean, somebody, they always need someone. Yeah. So again, also establishing my friendships, re-establishing my friendships here. I've got people who follow me online, and some of them are based in the UK, and I'm re-establishing friendships here. I'm also trying to follow in with the news. It is very difficult to follow up the news in Kenya because it's changing every minute. It's also, we are being bombarded with what's going on in the US, and I'm trying my best to ignore it as much as possible, which is impossible. So I'm just trying to see how to redirect my channel so that it is helpful to people, and also entertaining, informative, helpful, and also engaging. It's important to be engaging in our channels. Yeah. So that's just about it. For me, I just wanted to catch in, to just come in and say hi. And if you guys have anything to say, where the link is right there. It's right there in the comment section. You can go and say something. Thank you for your thumbs up. Remember to thumbs up my video. I'm going to see how to publish this one so that YouTube can actually recognize it, apart from being a live show, so that YouTube can actually recognize it as a recorded show. Because what happens is that with live shows, you actually don't get any sort of points on it, But like I said, by the way, you guys, hey, something happened. When I was turned back from the border in the US, I came and talked about that experience. And guess what? That video went viral and has over 15,000 views. I think it's maybe even at 17,000 now. Yeah. something that has never ever happened. So like there's a silver lining on every cloud. Like you might experience something bad, but on the other hand, something good comes out of it. So it went viral and it got people talking a lot. But unfortunately, in trying to regulate, in trying to work on the comment section to try to tone down some of the negative messages of the negativity in there, I ended up deleting all the comments, which is so painful because I thought those comments were so engaging and they were so useful for people, because many people, even if they were not positive, some of them, they still helped people to understand the mindsets of Americans and the mindsets of people who are manning the borders and people who are traveling or trying to travel to America. Yeah, so it was quite an interesting one. So yeah, I got my first viral video, and I think that also propelled me because I got some more subscribers. And apart from that, I also got more time watched on my videos. So hopefully soon I'm going to be able to monetize these videos and then maybe start getting some payments. Because believe it or not, I've been doing over 300 videos so far and not yet monetized. But it doesn't discourage me because I just like talking to people anyway. Yeah. So before I keep on going on and on and on, I just want to say, yes, I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I hope you guys are there. There's some of you I haven't seen on my channel in the lately, and I hope that you're doing good. Some of you I'm going to mention by name. People like Grace Agenda, where did you go? Where are you? And many other people who I really love on my channel. At least I know where Fia is. I'm very sure where she is. Susan, I hadn't actually informed that I was coming online. But anyway, guys, soon we will try to see whether we can have at least one live show every week, because I really miss that engagement with you. All right. On that note, bye and thank you for watching. God bless you and take care. Oh, there's Anne Wainaina. Anne, you mean you're here? Karibu, my dear. Nice to see you too, Annie. How are you doing out there? Are you in the US? Anne? Are you in the US? Do you know I tried to come to the US and could not come in? Anne? If that's the Anne Wainaina I know, that's actually my cousin right there. And she's already online. She's seeing me. You can run from your relatives, but they still find you somehow or the other. Oh, you are in the US. Imagine, Annie. Oh my God. Unfortunately, I came to your borders and was turned away. Did you see that? I was turned away. I was one of those ones who was a casualty of Trump. I'm a casualty. But I'm okay. I said to myself, okay. So I wasn't able to come in. But in our local language, you know what they say, Anna? They say, henage to me. And the reason is because, for those of you who don't understand what that means, it's there's a reason. Henage to me means there's a reason. And so there's a reason why I was turned away. And partly, yeah, it's crazy days. I agree with you. It's really crazy days. And one of the things, it's nice that at least you're engaging me there, and because it's difficult to talk if you don't have somebody to engage you back. Yeah. But I've been reading, and that the economy in the US is going to tank really seriously, because you're going to be lacking from between 27 and $72 billion from tourism. I've already seen a lot of backlash in the area of tourism, especially with a lot of countries that have decided to give travel warnings to people who are traveling, so to their citizens. One of them is the same country I'm in right here, which is the UK, and they've issued a travel warning to citizens not to go to America, or to exercise caution, because it's possible that you could end up in El Salvador prison. And you say to yourself, I mean, this you don't even imagine that there would ever come a day when such a thing would happen. But yeah, it can. And I've experienced it. And the only way to really understand what migrants go through is to actually experience, even if it's just a bit of it, like a slight rejection. Yeah. I didn't even experience an inch of what many of them are experiencing, such as sleeping in cells on cold, hard floors. I didn't experience that. It's really, really, really unfortunate. Yeah, so it's true, Anne. Okay, it's unfortunate, but it's true. She's confirming, that indeed in the US, the economy is going to be affected. very, very badly. Again, those tariffs are going to affect the American economy too, you know. But I think we're going to discuss that in another video. The tariffs, for example, the American farmers, the amount of beef that they sell to China. China has been a big buyer of American livestock products, livestock meat and livestock products, and now they're going to be getting it from Brazil and from Australia. And although the UK is trying, the US I think has come up with some sort of trade deal with the UK to accept American beef, but a lot of British people don't actually believe in buying American products, especially agricultural products, because of the different phytosanitary standards between the two countries. Yeah, and especially the issue of GMOs, as GMOs in meat and things like that. So I don't really know what's going to happen in that direction. It's quite interesting. So I wish you guys a nice day. Thank you for spending time with me. And yeah, let's see you next time. See you soon. I'm going to continue to bring you some interesting videos and to talk about issues of interest to you and me. Take care of yourselves, guys. Check in on you. Bye bye. Toodles. Bye, Annie. Thank you so much. Bye now.